So I'm going to be speaking straight up on our topic, leveraging on business opportunities. Before I start, I would like us to look at the keywords in that word, business and opportunities. That's what you will call the keyword, but I would look at the word leverage and I would emphasize more on that. As a business person or a business group or entrepreneur or even a career person, you need to have the eye of an eagle to be able to single out and see opportunities when they come. Why? Because you are the person behind that business. And if you don't get it right, if you as a person don't know who you are, there's no how you can tell the world what you have to offer. The first thing to look about is you. Who are you? How do you introduce yourself when you get opportunity? When you step into a room, who do people call you? What would you ask them to call you? You see, because whatever impression you give out, what people will see. And you see, we all emit some kind of energy. I'm sure as I entered up this place this afternoon, some of you have not met me before. Already you have sized me up. You have told yourself this is who the kind of person she is. Because why? I'm emitting energy. Anywhere you get to, you define yourself. Now, when you now have another opportunity to pick a mic or to introduce yourself, how do you introduce yourself? Because if you don't get it right in introducing yourself, even if the opportunity comes, which is my second point, I don't want to jump ahead of my time, then you will have a problem with the next level. If you can tell us who you are and you can sell yourself out very well, you're good to go. And that's the truth of the matter. See, because one of the major things why people don't see opportunities, or when opportunities come and don't call you, is because you were not properly introduced. Because of our time. Number one is, how do you introduce yourself? Because when the opportunity comes, you need to learn how to do it well. How do you see yourself? How do people relate with you when they see you? How will people look at you and say, oh, hello, good afternoon, I think you can get the job done. I think you are the person we're looking for. Then number two is, I want to debunk a lot of theories. You know, there's this thing that people say that you have to build your way to wealth. Not anymore. And listen to me carefully. I'm not saying you will not build. I'm not saying that you won't climb a ladder. But I'm telling you that when you get to the end of that ladder, somebody has to pull you up. And that's the new thing when it comes to consulting and business. You need to be introduced. You see, gone are the days when you fight your way and you say, I have to struggle, I have to work hard. Because I have to read 10 hours, I have to write this exam. After you're done all, people are carrying certificates around, nobody knows them. There's something we call the law of introduction now in business. Somebody has to introduce you. Somebody has to call you to say, I know this person, give her the job. I can recommend this person. Let me give you an instance. You see, there are people that will come up and say, I got that opportunity, and they will share success stories. And you're looking at them and like, if not that, I wish somebody pulled them up. See, success is a cabal. You don't, let them stop lying to us. It's not God. Yes, see, God is there. The God factor is there. But see, you need to learn to watch who you call your mentors. Because some of them are tormentors. They will show you their stars and hide their scar. And you think that, it just happened overnight. They suffered. But they don't tell us what they went through. Somebody has to pull you up. See, those people up there, they're a cabal. And the funny thing is, once they enter, they shut the door. You cannot climb that place and stay there. Your technology, your skill, your certificate will get to that door. If they don't open it, nobody can get you there. And that's why the second point this afternoon I want to tell you is when it comes to business opportunities, somebody has to hold your hand and say, this is the person. Somebody has to say, he can do it, she can do it. And that's why you need to be introduced. Listen, if you use your certificate to climb, some of you will struggle 10 years. And then you now carry all the brown envelopes. And you will get there, nobody will listen to you. Why? Because you have not joined the cabal. I like what Senator Adenike said. He said, so which cult did you join apart from JCI? Oh yes, it's a cult. I don't mind. Because that's what happens. Let me give you an example. Mr. President, you have an opportunity in your office, all right? And then somebody comes with a first class. And then somebody else in your club comes with a third class. But you know what this person is capable of. Who would you employ? You will first consider your JCI member. That's the cabal. Let me tell you, you will not pick first class because you know that thing will favor you at the end of the day. You are building your network. Gone are the days when I know first class people that left school together. One day in Abuja, they're making hair. They came out with first class. I'm not ruling out first class because you still need it. I'll get there. You still need something that even after you're recommended, somebody can say, okay, yes. Based on this thing, he can do it. But if you think that it's only your first class that will get you to the top, not anymore, sir. I'm talking about business opportunities. But one of the things you need to understand is learn to be introduced. Let me tell you this. You see, it's no longer hard work. It's now network. Gone are the days when it is hard work that gets you there. Now it is network. That's why I tell people, join a club. I'm a member of JCI Ibadan Elite. I'm a member of Rotary Club. I'm a member of Golf Club. I'm a member of Ibadan Education Club. I just joined this year. Yes! You see, because at one point or the other, I can get to Norway tomorrow. And I'll see somebody at the airport. And I'll say, oh, I know you. Yes, I'm a member of JCI. That's all. Okay. You see, there's some struggles that we don't need. And that's how we tell people, build friends intentionally. Look at what JCI Senator said, Adenike. He said he was driving and he saw a lady and he picked the person and he gave her a lift. And then they got talking. In the next 10 years, that lady might be the person that will open the door for him. Make friends intentionally. See all this, I don't talk to this person. I'm not in their league. I don't need, at times he's a gate man that would introduce you. Introverts they're nowhere to be found. You see, at times it's your cook that will know somebody's guard, that will say, oh God, don't worry, my guy is always at home at 4 o'clock, come at this time. It's all about networking. And one thing I want us to understand when it comes to business opportunities, you need the right person that would introduce you. At times, just smiling at somebody might just be it. Ah, she's nice, just because you keep smiling at them. You didn't even say a good afternoon, just smiled. Let's debunk this thing of, is all hard work. Yes, hard work and network is what gets you there. We're talking about business opportunities, right? Now, another word I want us to look at is leverage. What does it mean to leverage of something? Let me define it to you. Leverage means to exert a force or to spade something solid that will not respond normally. There's certain things that will not respond to you normally. We're talking about leveraging on business opportunities. The opportunity might be staring you in the eyes, but you need to learn how to leverage. How do you leverage on business opportunities? I'll tell you in a bit. You leverage on an existing thing. You take advantage of, you use what you have to get what you want. How do you leverage? What are the things that you use to leverage? Number one, use your knowledge in an industry. Something that you have learned before, your skill. You use it to take advantage of something. Like I said earlier, you leverage on the fact that you're a JCI member. That was the time I was conducting an interview, and because I went to Queen's School, there's this young girl, I can't even remember. Apparently, when you were in SS3, she entered JS1. And you know, juniors always know seniors. And then they kept on bringing people, marketer, this one, that one. And this girl just kept smiling at me, and I was like, I don't know you. She said, senior, there is coming here. Senior, I was like, a little one, baby, bye. She's like, I went to Queen's School. Blue and white. My heart just fell. Why? Because I knew that she was leveraging on the fact that she knew me. And if I don't, the good thing about Queen's School is we have different years have associations. If I don't do something, she will go to her ear and tell their presidents to call my president to say that I saw senior. See, all those, you see, all your old girls are now big girls. All the old girls, when you're in secondary school, they're now big girls. How do you leverage on those relationships? What are the things that you're doing that can get you an opportunity at the top? You know, we said that at the top, somebody has to introduce you. What are the things that you're doing that can give you an opportunity to be pulled up? Business opportunities are everywhere, but it's not all that you can get. So let me give you an example. There's something we used to call business relationship. One day we were at an event and somebody looked at me and said, Oyenike, you know what? I need you to help me speak to this person. And I'm like, I don't really have a relationship with her, but I know somebody that knows her. So I went to the person and I said, I want to get this person to help us sign this thing. And the person said, I'm not so close to her, but I know somebody. Somebody's in the matter. I know somebody that knows somebody. Three of us joined ourselves together and we went to meet her and they said, hi, my name is this, I'm from this. By the time all of us mentioned where we're from, the woman just looked at us and said, what do you want? Straight. And we told her everything we wanted and it was a done deal. You see, people think that business opportunities, you have to start searching for it. Just have what it takes. Do you know there are even times when they're asking that who can construct this? You have not done anything about construction. You don't have a clue as to how much they sell cement or block. But the opportunity comes to your table. Ladies and gentlemen, never say never. I have a friend, one of my husband's friends, he came to minister in our church and he said that anytime they call him and said, you do this, he said, that's what I do. Anything, that's what I do. Call him, can you supply this? That's what I do. But you see, one thing you need to learn is never give them an answer immediately. Everybody will give at least 2 hours. Let me get back to you in 2 hours. You see that 2 hours? You now start scrolling your phone. I like to that talk. Hello, sir, please help me. That's what you need to leverage. You see, you think that because you're a graduate and you came out with a 2-1 or 2-2, and then because at times it's not your dad that will get you that job. At times you might not be able to leverage on your father's name. It might just be a friend. That's why I said I'm picking on the word leverage. See, because business opportunities are everywhere. Now I want to test everybody here. Another thing we need to look at is you need to have an eye for these things. What is a business opportunity? Solving a problem, right? That's what business is. Anybody is making money now, they look for a problem and they solve it. So let me ask you, while you're coming here, I think you've been meeting here for a few weeks now. While you were coming here, you've been here for 2-3 times. Have you noticed any problem that you can solve in this hotel? I saw one when I was coming. That's the difference between you and me. Anywhere I get to, I look for problem because that's what my business opportunity is. So while you're here, did you notice anything that needs to be adjusted? Did you notice anything that you think the hotel needs and it's not been done? I know the next question is, even if I see it, would they answer me? That's why somebody needs to introduce you. So the question is, start looking for problems. Don't just sit there and say, come and meet you. No! You need to go and look for problems. That is why the business opportunity is. If you think that they will bring it to your, that's why you say I have issues with career people. Not like I don't like them. But if you are not careful as a career person, you will never see opportunities. Because you are taking instructions and they tell you in the morning when you come at 8, you sign in. After signing in, you fill this file, you fill this form, you mark this thing, you sign this thing, and then you go home at 4. And if there's a problem, you're not even allowed to state that problem because we're not even the one that will solve it. But as a business person, you know if you don't look for problem, you will not eat. It's like saying a lawyer would eat if they don't look for trouble. So business opportunities are only available when you see problems and you solve it. That's why I'm asking that when you came in this afternoon, or how many times have you been here? Have you noticed any problem? If the answer is yes, how do you solve it? Leave the way you are going to solve it. Leave the person that will take you to management. Leave that one first. When you have identified a problem, the next thing is, how do we solve this problem? See, because when you are introduced and they ask you how to do it, that's not the time to be running around. You look for the problem, you get the solution, and then you say, okay, so I discovered that we have this problem, and then I can solve it. And then the question is, if you drop a proposal, I hope you know that when you drop a proposal, they don't call you. How people have dropped a proposal before, I say, they will call you. They will not call you. In fact, the annoying thing is they will look at your problem and get somebody else to fix it. That's why we stop dropping proposals. You don't just drop a proposal. You look for the person that you hand the proposal out and say, I have this thing, this solution for this problem. And they will call you. And then somebody will say, I know this person. You need to be introduced. When I got my first job after I got married, I was working with Scanet. Old school. Don't people know Scanet? We all Scanet. Okay, well. So I walked into the place on that fateful day and I was a novice. Sincerely, it was the best experience as a young lady. I just got married and my husband said, no, I said I will work. So I wrote my CV. Unfortunately for me, all these trainings were not available. I just got to the gate, I picked up and barrel and I wrote down my CV and an application and then I submitted it. But see, before I went to there, I went to their website and I looked at all the faults in the organization. And I labeled it, I numbered it, put it in my head. So when I got to the ED, then Mr. Ogumekon, it was like, how can you help us? I said, well, number one, your website is not up to date, you have this problem. And I started listing all the faults that they had. And the guy looked at me and said, did you come here to abuse us or to get a job? I said, actually, I've come to identify your problems and to fix it. And that was it. But you see, the problem I had was, when I was leaving, he said, one thing I turned, he said, this is the worst CV I've seen in my life. I was embarrassed because I used my hand to write something quickly. Nobody ever told me I needed to type it. And then, when I'm talking about like over 17, 18 years ago. So he gave me another opportunity to go for it and I typed it. And that was how I got the job. How? I looked for their problems. I looked for a solution and I presented it. How did I get to Scanet? A friend introduced me. You need to be introduced to get to the top. It's a cabal. All right? Still talking about leveraging. Okay, good. Now, have you discovered that padlocks are made around the keys? How many have heard this thing? They make the key before they make a padlock. Yes. Anywhere you see a padlock and a key, the key was first made, and then the padlock was made for the key. That is to tell you that there is no problem that does not have a solution. In fact, the solution came forth before the problem came. Anywhere you see any padlock, I don't care the design, the key was made first, and then a padlock was made to fit into the key. And that is to let you know that anytime there's a problem, there's a solution that is waiting to be solved. That solution has been there already. But one of the things you need to understand is that in solving that problem, you need to identify your strength. You need to understand the fact that if you are approaching a business opportunity, you as yourself, you need to be ready. That's why I said your certificate is, I'm not writing it out. Your certificate is important. You know, your skills and everything, package it together. Introduce yourself first. Put yourself together. When you get an opportunity, say the way it is. Don't say that, my name is Oyenike. Have you learned before? What else do you need to know? And they'll be asking the interviewer. You tell them, introduce yourself. My name is Adenike. I'm from this. What else do you need to know? Last time somebody did that to me, I sent her out. I was like, you're not ready. You need to learn to introduce yourself. The video I was going to play for you. This young man was in a meeting and they asked him, they said, what is your name? He said his name. And they said, tell us about yourself. He said, I'm a pilot. And the guy said, how many hours have you done in all in your career? And he said, close to 8-9 hours. And the guy said, no. When you introduce yourself, tell them my name is Scott. I'm dark in complexion. I'm reading over a decade of, and then he started changing the words, and the whole thing just changed. It's the words, it's the way you say it. So when I go anywhere, I tell them my name is Oyenike, I'm from Ibadan, OJ to be precise. And then I catch your attention. I'm like, I'm OJ. Oh yes. I say that intentionally because I want you to get the fact that I'm not the average normal person. The moment I say that, everybody like, I'm OJ, I've gotten you. One. The moment I do that, I tell you what the problem I want to solve is, and then I'll now go and look for somebody that will say, this is the person that can do it. If you don't hear anything this afternoon, you need to leverage on the right relationships. You need to know who can introduce you. I don't care where that person is. Somebody has to introduce you. For you to get to the top, you need to be pulled up. It's not hard work alone. It's a network. Thank you very much.